Okay, so you're here because you want to fill up your 1 pound propane tanks. Now, it's a very good idea because it's very economical. Now, I've experienced two of these different fill valves. Now, this first one here, the problem with this one, it says it has some sort of overflow protection or whatever, and it automatically shuts off. Plus, it's a type that screws into the tank in the inside for the threads. I had nothing but trouble with it. And I'm going to show you the next one here. This is like a more standard one. Like it has outside threads on your that you can screw it onto your tank with. Works way better. And plus, if you look through the little hole, like the little fill hole, you can see light through there. So it claims that it has some sort of overflow protection on this one, but it doesn't. And actually, that sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing when it comes to filling up tanks, because the other one, it had some sort of a valve in there, caused a lot of grief. I had a lot of trouble with it, and this style, it seemed to work. It didn't seem to work perfectly. It worked very well. So, something to be aware of. If you buy a valve and it's not working properly, that means that there's probably something wrong with the valve, because this should not be a difficult thing to do. So you're here, you want to learn how to fill up these little 1 pound propane tanks. So let's just get started here. I'm going to show you actually 3 different ways. I'm not recommending you should do this. It's just for a demonstration on how I do things and what the results are, because you've probably looked at a few videos already about how to fill up these 1 pound tanks. Now, let's just go through some of the things, obviously, that you're going to need. One, you're going to need a big tank. Now that's a 30 pound, 20 pound will work fine. And of course, you're going to need some of the little propane 1 pounder tanks. And you're going to have to track down and purchase one of these fill valves for a 1 pound tank. There's different styles. All I can say is that I like this outside screw-on type. I'll show you how to put that on. And you should be able to see light right through this through the hole, like it should just be a clear path. There's other valves where you can't see through them, and those ones have an added feature in them, and I've found that those ones really cause nothing but trouble when trying to fill up these tanks. So I have the outside screw-on ones. There are ones with threads on the inside that will screw into the tank, but this is what I'm using today. And some leather gloves. Don't wear cloth ones, don't wear rubber gloves, wear leather gloves, because it doesn't matter how tough you think you are, whatever, if you get liquid propane on your skin in liquid form, it freezes it instantly, which is it's basically the same as a burn. And depending on how long and how much fluid gets on you, you can have some serious problems, like not good. So wear the gloves, please. And really, you should wear some eye protection, okay? Cover your eyes up, especially if your face is down there near the tank and stuff. And the other thing that you're going to need, actually a ballpoint pen. I'll explain that in a second. Or this is just a little thing that fits on like a can of WD-40. And I also use this stuff. This is for plumbing. Now this is pure silicone. It doesn't harden or anything. And I use that on the tanks. I'll show you in a second why. Don't use WD-40 and stuff like that. It's just basically to prevent corrosion and keep the rubber seals good. What else? Oh, new tanks always come with a little plastic cap. Don't throw those away. And I think I have it all here. So, let's go ahead first. Let's just put on this. Put on our fill valve. Part of the reason I like these ones, very easy to put on. There's not a lot of guesswork. Just get that on there. There, it's screwed on there good. It's not going to come off. These stay on really well. And what we're going to have to do, I'm going to move some stuff out of the way, and we have to lift this tank up, put it up on a stand, and it has to be upside down. Hang on. Oh, before I put the tank up and move everything away here, this silicone stuff, now you use it just a very small amount, a very thin film. But you can see this one, it was never taken care of in the early stages, and it's actually getting all corroded and stuff. And you want to try to avoid that. This one I've always maintained. It's nice and clean. And again, after you fill them, put the caps on. So that's what the silicone stuff is for. Use just a small, very small amount. You can put a little bit on the threads and it'll work its way around. So anyways, all right, let's get this stuff out of the way and the tank up here. Alright, so we're kind of set up here. Hopefully you can see that. There's the tank, there's the nozzle. And before we get started, this is why I'm going to show you the different methods. Now, this is a brand new tank here. And I'm going to turn it down here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to weigh this tank as a reference. You might not be able to see it, but I'll tell you what it is. And it doesn't matter the measurement units, we'll just remember what it is. Now this one is in grams, and it's 914 grams, okay? This will all become clear why I'm doing this, and this is all part of the demonstration on, you know, how to go about doing this and how to get the best results. So this is a new tank, and we'll just set this guy aside here. So it's 914 grams. Oh, and P.S. don't be smoking and stuff and lighting cigarettes while you're doing this. I'm not even going to weigh an empty tank. These ones are completely empty, by the way. And just to show you, this is what I use this little thing here for, or your pen. You can press it in, but I just want to show you, you don't have to do this to the tank right now. I'm just showing you that these are all completely empty. There's nothing in them. And really, so what some people will do, so they have a tank, completely empty tank, and they'll say, okay, well, I want to fill this up. All right. Basically, it's at room temperature. Remember, put your gloves on. I've had one of these valves actually started leaking or something once, and so I'm telling you to be safe, because if you get that liquid on you, yeah, it's bad news. So anyway, some people will just take a tank and they'll go, oh, I'm going to fill this up. So, you know, you get it put in place here. The reason the tank's upside down is because propane, it's a liquid, right? So down here is the liquid, there's the gas up there. So you need to be upside down because you want the liquid to flow in here. So turn on the tank, don't go crazy tightening it. And then just turn on the valve. So this is how some people do it. And we're just going to turn this on. And basically what we're going to do is wait until you can't hear any noise. Probably can't hear it on the camera, but you can hear some whooshing noises going on. And normally it might take a couple minutes. And whichever method you're using, often when the sound stops, I'll take the tank and I'll just shake it a little bit like this. And sometimes that gets more liquid flowing in there. So we're just going to let that sit for a minute or until we can't hear anything. And I actually already I don't hear anything. So reverse sequence. Make sure you turn off the propane under here. And we'll unscrew this. And so some people will do it this way. They'll fill up the tank. And we're going to weigh this. Oh, and don't do this inside your house. I'm out right at the edge of my garage door, so let's weigh this thing. So this was at room temperature. Just hooked it up. Let's see what happens. So it's at 614 grams. All right. We're going to make a note of that. So some people do this and, you know, there's some propane in there, sure. So 614, room temp. Alright, so we'll set this aside. Now I have to go get the other one. I'm going to be really fast about it, because other people say, well, you can't fill these up unless you put them in the freezer. So I have a tank in the freezer, which I'm going to go get, and we'll see what happens with that one. Okay, so let's see, are we recording? Yes. So this tank, I just pulled it out of the freezer. You can see it's already frosting up, so I want to be quick here. Let's get this flowing. Okay, so this one, obviously to me it sounds like it's filling up a lot more. Let's give it some time here. Okay, I'm not hearing anything anymore. Tiny bit. Let's give it another second here. As I say, if you shake the tank, sometimes you get some more in there. I want to be really fair and give us enough time. I can still hear something a bit. Okay, I think that's pretty much done. Turn off the gas again. Let's see how we made out. Okay, so now we're at, it's pretty good, 837. 837. That's from the freezer. Actually, that's pretty good. It is pretty good. And probably for average use, that freezer idea is a good idea. If you only have like one tank to do, but I'm going to show you a way. If I do this, I'm filling up like a lot of tanks. I don't want to be running into my house a million times to go get a tank freshly out of the freezer. So I'm going to show you another way. Coming right up. So this one's good. We have it marked. Let's take, this is another tank at room temperature. Let's get him on there. I'm going to put a little bit of gas in here, not much. So that was maybe, you know, 5, 6, 7 seconds. Now I'm going to take this off. So there's a tiny bit of gas in there. So normally I would walk out of my garage at this point, get out of, like it's not really enclosed here anyway, but just for the demo here, so definitely do this like right outside of your garage. I'm right at the door, as I said. So there's a tiny bit of gas in there. And it's really insignificant. So don't think like, well, you're just wasting a whole bunch of fuel. It sounds like it's a lot, but it's not. So anyways, take your pen or your other device, just press it in, and I'm going to give it probably like, I don't know, let's go for 5 seconds. Okay, that was 7. Let's hook it back up quick. What happens when you depressurize a small tank like this? Basically, once you take that pressure out, it cools the tank down a lot. And that's another reason to wear gloves, because they can get super cold where it will almost like, it will freeze your hands if you have bare skin. So let's get this one going and see what happens. And if you don't want to sit around waiting or thinking about it, just generally give it like 2 minutes or something. Nothing much will happen after that. But do give the tank a little shake if you want. I think it's pretty much done. I filled up 18 of these little 1 pounders so far from this 30-pound tank. Where I live, I don't know what's happened, but the price of these little tanks has gone up significantly. Believe it or not, well over $10, and I think actually used to be able to get 3 packs for like $12, but now it's one has cost as much as 3. I don't know what's going on, so now I can't. Alright, I think it's done. Okay, so just so you know here, this one came in at $9.76. It's actually a little bit over full, but it's not bad. Could be fine. So I'm super satisfied with that. All right, now, so let's just summarize. I kind of gave you all the safety pointers. Now this is a refilled one at $9.76. The brand new one was $9.14. And if you get them way over full, like $9.76 to me that's fine. It'll be okay. But if for some reason you get, you know, I don't know, like over 1,000, I might want to let a little bit of gas out. But this was the room temperature one. It only filled up to 614. The one in the freezer, it actually did fairly well, like 837. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great if you just have like 1 tank to do or 2 tanks. You could throw it in the freezer. Because I usually always achieve at least what a new tank is, and usually I typically a tiny bit more. And always keep your caps, as I said, and put your caps on, and you're good to go. I mean, but that's how easy it is, folks. I mean, I paid for, after I filled up a few of these tanks up here where I live, I paid for this, I bought this new 30-pound one to replace my 20, and just filling up a few of these, you know, it paid for itself that very day. So something to consider. Be careful, be safe. Please like, subscribe.
Come back for more. If you have some comments down below, let me know. Oh, the only method I didn't go over, because I've never done it and I don't plan on doing it. Some people mess around with this little valve here. That's probably a safety valve. I'm not 100% sure, like an overpressure valve, but some people, they mess around with that. It almost looks like the same type of valve for a tire. Maybe it screws out, or I don't know. But I don't bother with that. Why would you, if you can fill it up more than full just using the way I did, which is much easier, less chance of damaging this valve and causing a leak. So there you have it. Like, subscribe, come back for more. Hope you enjoyed. Take care, everyone. Be safe.